is proud to present two award-winning film composers, James Gelfand and Louise Tremblay. Living in the beautiful eastern townships of Quebec, the couple create music for film and TV. Over the years, together and separately, the duo have scored over 100 films and 300 TV episodes for NBC, ABC, HBO, and PBS. Receiving industry recognition from SOCAN, the Junos, and the Gemini Awards.
So onward to my studio. This is where I, run away and go hide and make music and come out, I don't know, a few days later, hopefully with something, sometimes not, sometimes yes. It's nice to be out in the country, it's great. It kind of reminds you that things can be a little bit slower and you can take it a little bit easier. And that's it, so I come in here and we're gonna walk through where, of course, if my washing machine breaks, where I fix it. And if I want to go canoeing or go biking. And then we're gonna come in and we're gonna make some music. Okay, I made it inside. So before I start playing or in the studio, sometimes I'll come by here and I'll sit at the piano and play an extremely out-of-tune piano to get me, to clear my head away,
How do I get in the mood? Definitely piano talks to me. It's my instrument. My work involves emotions, moods, colors, and pictures. Musique à l'image is you are inspired by a story, by images. And often I find that I get inspiration from finding out the actual emotion, and often how I'm getting to that is by just sitting down, playing. Sometimes it could be classical music, it could be improvising. I could just look outside and something will talk to me. I could go take a walk, come back, and I feel like, I'm hearing something. I sit down and I just have fun with it.
I have a lot of toys here. And I call them toys because I like gadgets. And this is like a big, 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 big toy. This is like many little toys that that you combine together. It looks like an Italian dinner. I call it spaghetti Gelfand. I have my nice piano that I was playing when I was 2 years old. I like to have it, and it's very nice in this room because there's a lot of space, so the piano sings a lot more. So this instrument here is called a harpeggi. 24-string harpeggi, and it's basically divided into 16 strings are the treble, which sounds like a guitar, and the bottom 8 is a bass. So basically we have a guitar up here, which would be like a... something like that. So it's an interesting instrument.
Starting the process of composing music for a film can be a little bit, it's just getting it going can be a little bit sometimes long or even aggravating, because you really want to tap into the global idea of what this film has to say. And sometimes it can be just one motif, you know, it could be one sound, one instrument, and that's what happens. So you have to hear that first.
The other instrument that I have here that it's quite daunting, I guess, to look at is a modular system. And an important thing about modular music, at least for me, is that it kind of moves. And the fact that it goes randomly is kind of like you're playing with somebody and then all of a sudden they do something and you react to it. So it's the same process. The only difference is the person, the modular person, is just doing it randomly.
I listen to a lot of classical and jazz and pop and whatever music is out there. I am inspired by a lot of things, but I think that I can hear my music through different instruments, and I have to do that, because if I want to orchestrate something, I need to hear the colors. And again, I just wanted to stress that it's really, at the beginning, it's really a color, like a palette that you want to find. And so you need to try trial and errors. You need to try things, until you feel that this sounds like, yeah, this looks like what I'm seeing right there.
Today, in music, film music especially, you know, there's certain avenues you can go down. You're in a box. I mean, if it's a mystery, it has to be mysterious or scary or some aspect that relates to the film. And an easier example, more than that, let's say you're doing a romantic comedy and it's a love scene. Well, you have to, you know, you can't play this chord in a love scene, you know. It's not going to, nobody, or you could play a love scene, but you know something's wrong with the love marriage there, you know, something's going on. But, you know. So that could easily be the background in some scene where you're trying, you know, somebody's walking, let's say walking down the street with their chum or blonde or their boyfriend, girlfriend.
I think the first thing that I would do is count. I need a rhythm. I need to feel what the tempo of this image is. So often I'm just going to look at the picture and just listen to it without a temp score, because usually they give you a little temp score, which is like music that's temporary that they just put there to help you out. And feel the rhythm of the beat, the tempo of how fast the images are going, how often they change. Like I'm going into my tempo, and I'm deciding what my tempo will be. You know, you see how it's changing, how the subtitles are changing, and then the picture. So I know that when I'm seeing the change of the subtitles, and then I see the image. That's important. You know, when this image comes, then I know that I have to underline that. And so I'm trying to feel. There's a motion, there's a rhythm, it's a beat. He's walking, so see, it's changing. Changing again. So in my head, I have this beat. I mean, and I'm looking at the change of these. So that beat happens to be this. That's the feel that I got from boom, and it's coming right onto the picture.
An obscure Canadian businessman sets out to change the world. His name is William Stevenson, one of the 20th century's greatest spy masters, yet widely unknown. At the end of the Second World War, Stevenson burns all evidence of his top-secret mission. Or, at least he thought he did. It takes decades for historians to piece together Stevenson's secret operations designed to help bring the United States into the war.
Give us the tools, and we will finish the job.
Stevenson knew that British needed America in order to succeed in the war.
William Stevenson helped create a weapon for shaping democratic opinion.
The centralized British spy agency he creates becomes a model for the United States and influences the development of the CIA.
Do we look at Stevenson as somebody who manipulated the United States to get into World War II, or do we look at him as somebody who helped to save Britain from Hitler?
This is the long-hidden story of one of the 20th century's most secret operations.
We're 80 years from these events, but they shape the secret world to this day.
A daring plan led by a man from the shadows.
It's very important in film music to pick a rhythm, because the rhythm is, if a guy's moving fast, you want to really pick a different rhythm. So in this situation, I have this rhythm. I'm going to just put the pot on. I'd have to maybe change notes, this note here. Something like that. I could do something really more wild with. Find the sweet spot of this kind of thing I want to do on it, okay? And then I could put something really fast, like in this module here. I need a little bit of sharper attack on it. Something like that more. That's pretty good. I could bring these chords back in because they'll fly over the top of it while all this is kind of like making it, and you're running down the street. I grew up, with The Who. That was my first band that my brother, when he was 10 years older, brought to Tommy The Who, and I loved it. I just loved it. And all the great Who songs that come on, and it's that sound that I'm attracted to. It sounds like Teenage Wasteland. To me, there's definitely something that's emotionally attached, like a song you remember when you were 15 or 16 or 17 years old. Yeah.
Hi, this is Pam.
Hello.
Pam and I have known each other for probably 30 years. Pam has a music studio in Montreal. She teaches a lot of people. And over the years, we sat down and played piano for fun, just, playing four hands. This is the Fantasia in F minor of Schubert. It's like a little trip of emotions.
Louise received a master's degree in piano performance from McGill University, and James holds a master's degree from the Eastman School of Music. Composing for film and TV have required them to write in a variety of musical styles, from classical and jazz to alternative and pop. When it comes to scoring for film, they're used to working long hours, meeting deadlines, and satisfying the requests of producers.
When we go to these SOCAN Awards, all the people who receive these awards, they're like, you know, they're in bands and they're songwriters and they're out. We live in the basement, you know, we live in the trenches. I did that Crusoe film, that Crusoe television show, 1 per week. So it was 5 days all day long, 1 day of meeting, 1 day of mixing, and back on it again for 7 weeks.
A lot of editors, they cut pictures with music. So they'll take any kinds of music. Music from other films, music that they like, music that gives them the rhythm, a bit what we were doing, but music that they don't own, that they didn't compose, that they, you know, they're telling the story. The monteur, the editor, is a storyteller as well, you know? There's many different facets of movie making, right? So he definitely does and has his own view on what type of music he would hear on that, right? A lot of the time, the people that distribute the films, the broadcaster, they're not agreeing with that. They sometimes like it, sometimes they don't like it. So you're stuck a little bit in a box. They have comments, lists and lists of notes, lists and lists of notes saying, well, okay, no, this temp score doesn't work there, the music doesn't work there, we don't like that. Oh, yeah, we like the music there. So we know as musicians, sometimes it gives us like, oh, okay, they like this kind of stuff. So we look at the instrumentation, we look at, you know, the pace of it, it's got energy, so, you know, that gives us an idea when we sit down and compose, because they don't really necessarily know also where music goes, you know? Sometimes they'll put it at the wrong place, they'll start it too late, they'll start it too early, or where they should have put music, there isn't. You want to grab people. You want them to be involved in, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna get up and go get a glass of water or go to the toilet. This looks really good, I wanna watch it. So you wanna grab them, basically.
So this is a TV show I did about quite a while ago for NBC, and it's a sword fight, you know, like in the old days, you know. It was fun because I had to time all the sword hits to make it exciting, you know. Louise and I have scored about 45 together, and I had done maybe 30 or 40. I still do a few on my own, depends on the director, producer. Over about 100 films, and such variety that, you know, you're going from cartoons to mystery to romance to electronic, and that's the fun of it.
Here is an excerpt of a movie that we did called Switched at Birth, and it's a story of a little bit of vengeance, of sadness, of resentment. And this is the end of the film. And I'm playing this piece because it has a longing, it has a little bit of sadness, but it also has a twist of some sort. The interesting thing also is a completely different color, but also I've used some actual instrument to record, you know, like I would send, let's say, the samples, the violin samples, and send it to someone and say, well, could you play real violin, that specific music on this cut, or cello, or whatever, because it just, the real instrument, in my opinion, just brings it one little cush higher.
I think it's about time that I act like a parent. and protect my child. So I'm going to give you till the morning before we call the police. That will give you plenty of time to get on a plane and disappear.
Wait, Mom. After everything she's done, how can you let her get away with this?
She's not getting away with anything. She's going to have to be on the run the rest of her life without any family. I hope you have a good life.
Me too.
One of the styles I learned when I was at school studying jazz, which I really liked, was called stride piano and blues and boogie. So I'm just going to play a little, blues, stride blues for you. The other thing that I really, really like to do is when I'm sitting out here, I look outside and I try and get inspired and just kind of really just improvise completely, and hopefully some new ideas will come. Normally it happens if I haven't been playing for a while, and I come in and I settle down and I haven't heard the sound of a piano or anything, and then the sounds, I get inspired by the music. So I'm just going to try and improvise something now, and we'll see what happens, and look outside and see if I get inspired.
I'm working with James, as we know, and that's an interesting situation in itself. We've been doing this for, like I said, almost 18 years, 17, 18 years, and very, very different types of films. Like I said, we've done for 15 years murder mystery. During COVID, we did romantic comedy one after another, and Christmas movies, documentaries. Interestingly enough, a lot of the time we work on the same movie. We're very different backgrounds. Not so different, because, I don't have the jazz background, but he has classical background as well. And things works out, we have different style of writing music, but in the same film, we have different cues, and it all kind of work itself out. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Just finished.
Yeah, I finished.
How about you?
Well, I've had a good time. I was just, taking a nice tour of the studio, and
Did you tell them how hard it is to work with your wife?
I kind of mentioned something about that. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I guess when we see it, we'll find out who said what, eh?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Oh, boy.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in, and
we'll see you next time.
Next time.
Toodaloo.